Clear the throats, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the HappyCast. I am reluctantly one of your hosts tonight at this very late witching hour in Texas, alongside Stephanie. So myself, Andrew, we got Stephanie finally contributing by making any sort of noise. That's the first time we heard a peep from her. So that's how late it is, and not even the pre-ramble before the podcast start got anything or elicited a response from her. So it's pretty late for us, so therefore we are just letting loose. We don't have anything on the agenda today other than we have one of our favorite pool boys in the country, Aaron Kubala, the Moab man himself, the man with the pecs, the picture of perfection, and I'm pretty sure the guy who ran with another male model for like 200, 100 something plus miles. I don't know. But for, out in China or whatever country he was in. Anyways, what originally started out as, hey, let's do a smart and intricate podcast about Aaron's amazing race that wasn't the Speed Project, which I only just recently learned was not part of the Speed Project. That quickly got, thrown out the window. And the podcast, this is a late night podcast now. And we are sipping on some wine. And we also have a special guest. Who knows when she's going to chime in, but I'm going to go say Mika is well and alive, everybody. I don't even, does she have a nickname? Aaron, does Mika? The
Sugar Trash Gemini.
Sugar Trash Gemini. Yeah, she did temporarily change her Instagram. That kind of just blew people's mind, but she changed it back. But she is alive and well, everybody. So no hard feelings there. Nice seeing you. But first and foremost, this is a podcast about Aaron Kubala. Yes, that Aaron Kubala, because I know that's a well-worn name across the world. The one and only. He just did a race, and you know what? We're just winging it. Stephanie, what do you have to say before we jump in and just enter Aaron's mind?
I'm going to let you fuck this one up all on your own.
This is great. Okay. Almost one bottle of wine in. I just worked a 12-hour shift. 36 out of 48 hours overall. So
Andrew, you sound like you have a problem.
I don't have a problem. The problem is that we don't have a problem. The problem is that we are so good at what we're doing that we don't even need to address it. So, Aaron,
will you tell us what this race is that Andrew knows nothing about, since you said you have so much to tell us? We want to hear all about the details.
You guys go.
Wait. But first,
I'm just eating a muffin. Sorry, go ahead.
First we have to say, Aaron, have you heard about Ultra Gobi?
Oh, is that what it's called?
It's called Ultra Gobi 400K, and it's the new Speed Project.
Okay,
but have you heard of the Speed Project?
I haven't even heard of.
Mika, tell me about it.
Well, I don't know anything about it. That's why I'm asking, have you heard of it?
Neither do I. It's kind of underground, hip,
This is kind of like Who's on First situation, or like Who Shot JFK. Like, it's just like, it's going to be in lore forever. No one's going to ever find the answer. No one's going to know who's in the grassy knoll. But Aaron, you are basically the equivalent of that person that was in the figurative and metaphorically more so grassy knoll of the trail running world. Because no one's ever going to know. JFK? We're saying that no one knows what the fuck the Speed Project is.
Oh,
unless But Aaron, joking aside, you just did an amazing event, and we're excited to hear all about it, and we're excited to hear the reasons why it wasn't that amazing from Mika, or however else she's going to contribute to this. But you just did the Ultra Gobi, and we were all just drawn to the screen because this was like, okay, a competitive event, top 3, and then it just turned into no more than just a race, but equally so, a tale of friendship. You and this other man who I forgot his name, but I know he's well known. I looked him up. There he is.
Jovica
Stephanie,
Spajic.
look at that. This is this. If Tom Hanks was 30, 40 years younger, he would be playing you right now in the film adaptation of this. Look at that.
I mean, look, if that's not a male model, then I don't know who is.
You are the Zoolander of the trail running world. For those that are not watching the YouTube of this, Stephanie is giving some insight into the physical nature of this race, objectively speaking. Not that we were trying to objectify Aaron. He does that on his own. But, like, man, this was just an amazing event. And then friendship. Wow.
Okay, well, where
what
to
say
start?
you?
Let's talk about what this race is. It is a 400-kilometer self-supported race across the Gobi Desert in western China, not the Mongolian side. It is based near Dunhuang, is the town, and it is very far away. I flew 40 hours to get there. It was too long. But I will say, this race was truly the highest production value of any race, especially long distance ultra in existence. Like, I think it blew Cocodona out of the water in terms of how much pomp and circumstance and general ceremony there was. I heard, I don't know if this is true, I heard the race hemorrhages $5 million every year on this 400K. To give a little bit of context, they had, oh, hi, Regina.
I can't hear you, but hey,
Yeah.
Aaron Kubala says hi really fast. Here she comes. He's talking about his not speed project, Ultra Gobi 400, which is actually a very epic event. And we've been joking for too long. We should probably get serious because this is an awesome tale. But yeah, Regina says hi, everybody.
But truly, to set the scene of some things about this race is in the opening ceremony, they had a helicopter airdrop of sponsor gifts. I exited the race with an 80-pound duffel bag I flew home with, full of gifts, including a hand-carved vase full of 4 kilos of Tibetan liquor, a marble dragon statue for the finishers that was probably about 8 pounds, solid murder weapon, a cape, which was shown in the picture, a cape in a table runner-esque adornment. There were fireworks in the finishers' country's flags at the end of the race. And there was just a lot of live stream. Like, I think there was both a Chinese and a international live stream. And it changed the nature of the race. I mean, there was a lot of talking to cameras and signing things during the race, and a lot of rules about the mandatory gear, which included like a full -5 rated Celsius sleeping bag, an 800 down jacket, a bunch of like knives, not a bunch, but a knife, flashing lights, satellite phone. So the pack got heavy. The pack was a factor. But all of this is self-navigated. There's 37 checkpoints, and you have to hit them all in order. But you can choose the route, which, oh my God, is that echoes of the Speed Project? It is.
Can we just like halt the break? We've mentioned the Speed Project enough. Can we finally find out? It's just like a
I don't know what it is.
movie.
I'm still waiting.
We're going to now cut back in time. What is the Speed Project for those that who do not listen? You've only been on our podcast once, and it was for a 5-minute segment where you were someone's like errand boy in the airport. I don't even remember what you were doing.
Yeah, it was to say that I was non-consensually represented at Pole Canyon.
Your body was showing up to every single. You
were so into that. That's not true.
Your body is now in just the homes of hundreds of individuals, unwillingly. It's like U2 when they put their album on every single phone in the country a couple of decades ago. But so what is the Speed Project? Because you've done some epic things before, because we don't even have a background on you because you've never been on before. I mean, I know what you've done. You've done Speed Project stuff, but it's just like that's like you did something in Vegas, you did something like
Chile.
in Chile, and the way you pronounce it for some reason is just like I can't. I say it Chile, but the way you say it with confidence and you do something with your chin when you say it, and it's just like I can't get it out. Yeah, so you've previously have done these events. Like, you're no stranger to this, and a background leading up to this is that you've been injured quite a bit this year. So just like you got the speed project, you got injury, now you got Ultra Gobi.
What's the question?
The question is just like, what is the speed project, man? And
The
why
speed
is the
project.
speed project?
Why is the speed? The speed project is a unsanctioned race that is typically a relay. The original one is from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. So you start at Santa Monica Pier, you end at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. There's no rules, and you get there in whatever way you choose. So you choose the route. There's a lot of self-planning, a lot of navigation. You can choose to take mountain shortcuts that are shorter but go over these tough power line roads. You can take road, and then they have a solo division, which is what I did. And it's about a 300-mile race, like maybe 290 miles to run from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. So I did that, and then I also did one in Chile across the Atacama Desert. And I did a thing with my Chile.
Yeah, and so, some background catching up to his current Ultra Gobi race, just like this is a well-traveled man, and then his volunteering efforts have not gone unnoticed. Mika can definitely attest to that. Mika, up to this point, up until him doing this Ultra Gobi experience, how would you describe to the layperson who Aaron Kubala was? Because I just think he is just a man full of surprises for better and best.
Aaron is a great runfluencer, I think. His career is going great. He has some really fantastic photos to post that he has on his Instagram that have been used in various places for volunteer efforts. I think it really got the runners excited at Pole Canyon, which was the best aid station ever made, or ever ran. It was good times up there.
Good times.
For the viewers that don't know, Mika Thewes is one of the most decorated 200-mile runners.
One of the most decorated aid station captains at Moab 240.
Literally.
That's dubious. But has run more 200s than most people. Has won many of them, has set a lot of course records, and yet, despite these accomplishments,
I have been on this podcast before.
Creates a crazy hostile work environment for those volunteering. It's despite the accomplishments, she still has this deep-seated need to make others feel diminished.
We're only 12 minutes.
No, not diminished.
That's just you.
Yeah, you bring the hostility. See, the vibes I bring are so great that I got phone calls when I wasn't at Moab this year begging me to come down to increase the vibes, which I did, and I provided. So
Wait. You went to Moab this year?
Yeah, she showed up on a whim.
Where?
I drove out on Friday night, and I just stayed at HQ until Tuesday. I left Tuesday.
Mika, I gotta interject, and we'll get back to Ultra Go, because honestly, this is originally how it started, and I'm also not afraid to derail this even more, because it was Aaron's fault for extending the invitation to the legendary Mika Thewes, who honestly ghosted me and has been off the grid for a while, and so I'm just excited that you're here. But Aaron did this to himself.
Famously antisocial Mika Thewes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, Andrew, I'm very sorry. I ghost many people. It's not an uncommon thing for people to have experienced. Even Aaron has experienced the ghosting. So
Never been ghosted by anyone.
He just moves on to the next person, though. You can tell. That's a man that has many people in his pocket that he can pull out at any time.
Well, you see, Aaron and I aren't friends, so.
No,
Yeah.
more.
He's more than that. There we
combative.
go.
He's a Scorpio and I'm a Gemini, so we don't get along.
So, another background. This is going to be the most confusing and probably the most poorly rated episode of this podcast we've ever done. You guys originally both wanted to come onto this podcast together to talk about horoscopes. So, if you guys remember that. And then originally you two were both going to have an epic showdown this year at one of the races, obviously for different reasons. And good reasons, that was delayed, but it will happen, and I'll make sure it happens because I've been talking it up every now and then for so long. But to you, Mika, every 3 months, I feel like I need to text you and see how you're doing. I have to, at the very minimum, every 3 months. Just hey, how are you doing?
To derail this further, I think Mika should have a 4-hour handicap at Tahoe.
Well, it depends. If it's your first race of the season and not my first race of the season, then you will automatically have
Yeah, it will be my first 200th season because I'm not doing Coco.
I know. So we'll see.
Everyone had their reasons for
And I don't need any
what they
handicap.
did, but I feel like if Mika loses whatever this is, she has to be forced on a 3-hour FaceTime call with a person of my choosing. So.
Oh, who are you choosing?
I don't know. We'll see. I need to dig
That's
deeper. Into
that's
stuff.
dangerous.
I have some ideas. I have some good ideas. I don't know if I can say them.
Unfortunately, Mika, I like you a lot. You've been my favorite person for a while, even in this moment of silence. Aaron Kubala in standing, not even withstanding. So no offense, Aaron. You're my favorite male counterpart that's on this podcast right now.
Okay, so you're biased. I see.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'll say is that I feel like Aaron and I should do an immediate post-race interview when we're both completely sleep deprived, because that's when we're at our most insane, which is probably the most fun we are.
I feel like we could take Aaron out to a club and he would just have glow sticks and just go shirtless and start dancing until he just falls into a coma. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm willing to test that out. Mika, I've seen you work just effortlessly at Pole Canyon. I've never seen someone more eager to just handle people's shit. Literal shit. Just like when we were cleaning up Pole Canyon, you're just like, I got this. The little shit in a bucket thing or whatever it was.
You're confusing that with Monster. That was the Monster company.
You just can't make your. We did. I just didn't want to make any of you guys do it, so I just did it, even though it was nasty.
I was just in my beaver onesie, looking cute, trying to make sure people realize that we're still
context.
fun.
You guys were the looks of the aid station, and I was just the behind the scenes.
The heating tent, and Andrew was calling a woman a slut.
Yeah, good call.
That's very awesome.
So, Stephanie, you may be wondering. Yes, we did. I did, but it was playful banter, and there was some obviously playful tension there as well. And so yeah.
I'm gonna just say that there's no context that would be okay.
So,
hell yes.
So it was Melissa, and she was on our podcast, if you remember her. She did.
I'm still gonna go with there was no appropriate time.
She called me a slut too, and honestly.
Yeah, you're probably asking for it.
Yeah. Okay,
what were you wearing?
What he was wearing? He was wearing a furry costume.
They have photos for you.
With short swimming shorts on top, so they're very short shorts.
I had a life jacket just in case I was drowning in altitude. So
I have the photos.
Yeah, they're pretty adorable. I peaked there, and it's been downhill since.
That was possibly the most unhinged aid station in the history of all aid stations at a race.
Unless you count HQ at Bigfoot that year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, dude, you guys.
We weren't really part of the aid station. We were more just next to it.
Oh, you mean the year Jessica Schiller beat your course record?
Yeah, I'd say destroyed it, but it was only by 2 hours. But she definitely killed it that year.
And now she's MIA. Who knows where she's at? Actually,
we had the second best pacer available.
Yeah, they're
number one.
Pretty far back, number 2.
So to get back on track, Ultra Gobi, my friend. And before we get to that, Aaron, for those that don't know, is known to be and pardon my language, this is not my language, this is the language of the people. He is a universal pacing slut. He attaches himself like the leech unto the bosoms of the most elite company.
I pace everyone from the back of the pack to the front of the pack.
And mainly the front, and then when he knows he accomplishes the front, he was like, you know what, I might as well sandwich this event by being known for someone that paced the winner and someone that paced maybe DFL. And honestly, I wish I had your skill set because that takes a lot. Only so few people are willing to run as fast as you and also just trudge along as slow as you. So I commend you to that. So let's give Aaron a round of applause here. And nobody.
You guys add sound effects?
Well,
we will.
Here's a serious question: how has your pacing experience influenced your distance running self-supported experience at Ultra Gobi?
Oh, that's good. That's a hard-hitting journalism that we like to see that Andrew's been avoiding because he's wine drunk.
Trail Action News is
easily distracted. I think we all are.
I think a skill in pacing is being able to go at someone else's pace. And I think when you run with someone, inherently, you neither of you is running the race you're going to have. You're running a third separate race that's your combined race, where you ride both the lows and the highs. And I think pacing, I think I paced 100 miles last year in each of the Destination Trails races. So like well over 300, and then some other races as well. So I think pacing prepares you for that. One has to be able to run at all paces. I think people are too quick to only do what they feel comfortable doing. It's good journalism, Mika.
And then the goal afterwards to then volunteer in between, like that takes a lot out of you, right?
Well, we didn't sleep. Like none of us did for 4 days.
Yeah. I just remember passing out at Moab after I paced 50 miles in a Tesla that was going like 100 miles an hour down the road back to HQ, and I just woke up just like not knowing where I was. I thought I was in a DeLorean heading back to the future. So I don't know how we did what we did, but especially you, Aaron, that you are the man of many talents. You are the Swiss Army Trail Runner, as I like to say, as of only now. But going forward, you are known as that. I dubbed thee the Swiss Army Trail Runner. But back to Ultra Gobi, this experience. Only 20 minutes in. Wow, it feels like an hour. Holy
and we have talked about the Gobi. Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay, but how is well, I guess we'll go in order. I won't jump ahead.
Yo, let's resume your Gobi, Ultra Gobi.
Okay, so what do you guys?
How did you find out about this race that's so far away? How did you pick this race?
That's a great question. So the silver lining of my injury this year was I had to push back the Triple Crown to next year and was able to defer. But because of that, I was able to do this race, the Gobi, which was in October. They reached out on Instagram. So they, I believe, funded 15 international trail runners to come out and like they pay for everything but the flight. So, accommodation from the airport, the race fees itself. And we're really trying to grow the brand internationally. And I think the past couple of years, and especially this year, are on a push to make this like an internationally branded race, which I think they've done a great job with doing. Some answer the call. Some, like Mika, also received the message on Instagram and said, "Oh, no, it's not for me."
Some people have been on crutches since July, so...
Yeah, that's true. It's been a tough year for injury, kind of all around. But they reached out on Instagram. I had not heard of the race before, although I did read Brian Powell, who's kind of an old head legend in the sport. He wrote Relentless Forward Progress, which is one of the books I read first getting into ultra running. He ran the race and won last year and had an article on it that was quite good. And I think that, because when I first got reached out to on Instagram, I was like, I didn't believe it was a real race. And then I looked it up and saw that Brian had run it and wrote this article. And I was like, okay, maybe this is like legit. And turns out it's very legit.
How did you find the logistics? Like, was it all pretty easy to organize and all that? Because it was a lot of gear you had to take, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of press. So the way it works is there are 10 R stations, like rest stations, where you get drop boxes. So there's no crew allowed, no pacers allowed. But it's about every 25 miles. You come into one of these R stations and you can get your drop box. And there are 6 drop boxes. 4 of them are shuttled double. And in those there's like limits on the size and weight of the drop box, but that's where you put kind of all your food, your change of shoes, your socks, your lube, all of your gear, basically. And then in the checkpoints, it's maybe every 8 miles, there's only water available. And then at the rest stations, there's only hot and cold water. So all of it is kind of like self-supported, like, is doing more camping meals and putting hot water in. So it's a very different style of race, and that everything has to be prepped beforehand. So you also have to have enough, like 2,500 calories in between each section, and then actually like count them out, which kind of, ruined a bit of the flow of the race, but, it's part of the rules, so you adapt. They would literally count the calories of what you were taking to make sure you had enough. So I use something called a keto brick. I actually think, here's the wrapper. Keto brick, and it's 1,000 calories in a very small form, and I would slam it on the table and say, read it and weep, and then they'd say, we don't speak English, but I would point to the calorie count, so it worked out.
Okay, you said that they only provided water and hot water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which is it's a very interesting departure from like American races, because it does make it all self-supported. part of the sponsorship of the race is they gave us a bunch of like packets of rice and pre-made meals beforehand. But I don't think, generally speaking, you don't want to race with new things. So I didn't.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, that doesn't make you feel better about it getting.
No. So there were two camps of people. There were people like me that brought all the nutrition from the U.S. and had a variety of like gels and goos and real food and bars. And then there were people that shopped in Dunhuang in Guangzhou, the other town, and kind of picked up food from like the Chinese markets, which are very westernized, but picked up like pre-made like Belgian waffles or like egg packets, ramen, a lot of ramen. But it means that there's like a lot more planning, and food is not, I don't know, it was a bit rawer in that sense, in that you're not pampered at all in the race, which is the opposite of the speed project, where you can have as much crew or whatever. You have an RV, you have an oven, you have a stove. So that definitely changed the experience a bit, but I think it added to it for me, because you're kind of in the middle of these places that very few humans have gone. You're actually on the historic Silk Road, and it's basically connecting these like various desert oases via just like, it was less sandy than I think I initially imagined, but it's a lot of like broken gravel and dirt, and it was more bushwhacky than I expected for the desert. Like there were several sections that you're just kind of traipsing through like desert brush. I actually had like thorns.
Because that's the route you picked, though, right? Because you got to pick. At what point were you able to plan out your route? Were you able to do that before you traveled there, or did you do it once you got there? You got information.
No, that's a good question. It was a bit weird. They gave a recommended route, and then they said, don't use the recommended route. It's not optimal. Do your own research. But then you actually look at the route, and there's not much variation you could do. Like a lot of it, you're going through these like riverbeds or mountains, and there's only like one pass. So there was actually very little room for deviation. So unlike some of the speed projects where you can cut off like 10 miles with a shortcut, this was maybe you're saving like half a mile here, a couple hundred meters there. So there wasn't much. I would say most of the runners took the recommended route, plus or minus a small amount. But the recommended route is also, like in some places, a straight line over the terrain, and you can't go in a straight line. So you're kind of like, there was actually a lot of fences. Like I have no idea who owns the property, but there was, I probably either went over or under over 30 barbed wire fences at some point in this race. Actually, fun side anecdote. So Jovica, the man, this is what we get to see, I ended up running 150 miles with, is like in the Serbian military and like a special ops guy, and just like a sick dude. And so we come across this train, and the route's taking us directly across it, and there's a barbed wire fence that juts outward, kind of like, and he and I were both like, yeah, we're absolutely gonna hop that, and did this like special ops move and hopped it, and felt like the coolest people ever. Like there's no way the other racers can do this. Turns out we talked to the other racers, there was like a tunnel pretty close. Everyone else went under. But that was a fun part of the race. Like it felt very lawless, and it felt like whoever made the route had never been on the route, and just looked at Google Maps and drew a straight line, was like, you guys can figure it out, which I enjoyed.
All right, and just to bring Mika into this, Aaron Kubala signed up to this race that he thought was not a real race. Did he ever consult you about anything regarding this race beforehand?
I'm pretty sure I got invited on Instagram before Aaron did. I'm not totally sure. I think I did.
This is true.
And I think I messaged Aaron being like, hey, these people just hit me up if you ever heard of this. And he was like, no. And then like a week or two later, he got an invite. But it sounded interesting. I was interested in doing it too, but especially since like, I don't know, as Americans, it's probably impossible to get into China otherwise. And it seemed like a cool way to like get to see some of China. So
yeah. Quick shout out on that point is they gave a special we had a side note that I took to the embassy, and I now have a 10-year Chinese visa that's valid that I can go for 90 days at any point. So that's a perk of the race.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Included.
What's that?
I'm joking. Political climates, right? But so were you nervous at all because of the current landscape in the world? This is China. There's never been any issues, but just the way things are, you're out there in the middle of nowhere. You're not only just off the grid, you're off the well-known grid. You're now in another place being off the grid. Like, did any of that just kind of make you anxious? you're nowhere near home. You don't know a lot of people. No one speaks the language, and
Yeah,
then
there
you're
were
near the front of the pack, even more
yeah. I mean,
alone.
there were factors that were like interesting to me in that sense. I mean, maybe this is like a self-centered perspective. I was worried about my injury more than anything, about like whether or not I could actually come back. Because let's see, I actually agreed to this race before I was even running. And so I only had like a month and a half training block to ramp back up to speed. I do think it's less daunting in a 200 versus a shorter distance to come back, because it's more premised in like years of base muscles and foundation, and it's less cardio based. And so I thought, if I can run, I'll be fine. But I also, I've done a lot of like self-supported stuff, and I think it felt very much in line with a sense of like adventure. And it was kind of like, okay, so we have trackers on us. They do have a medical team. Knowing both those things, it was like there's nothing bad that's going to happen. Worst case, they like airlift you out.
And another reason I ask is because you did run a majority of the race with another runner, and I'm a well-known like wimp when it comes to these things. I like to latch on to anyone that I see that's going my pace. It's like, I'm sticking with you whether you like it or not, because I feel like at any moment in time I will either fall off a mountain, die of a heat stroke, or be taken away by, I don't know, some feral duck-billed platypus that has reached the size of the common, like, bear in Tahoe or something. I don't know, some freak of nature accident. I'm just waiting for anything. So you were especially notarized in social media for your camaraderie with this other runner that you ran with. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because this happened not just late. It happened earlier on in the race, and you guys stuck together the entire time. And one of the reasons why I wanted to ask about, how you felt about being out there alone was this, a reason, just like, oh, I'm going to stick with this guy as much as I can because it's just, I don't want to be alone out here? Or is this just like, oh, hey, we can motivate each other? And, what was the thought process between, linking up with this other individual? And I am rambling on. I finished a
That's a good
bottle of
question.
wine. Regina just gave me another glass not long ago, and I didn't even ask for it. So blame her.
I'm trying in solidarity to catch up with you. I'm a couple glasses in. I'm not quite there, but a little loose with the lips, I would say. But the man's name is Jovica Spajic. He's a Serbian runner. He is a bit of a legend in the sport. I actually would wager he maybe has done more 200 plus miles than anyone. Like, I think he's done over 35 or 36 of the 200 plus mile distance. He's very talented. He's I think his day job, he's like a special ops in the Serbian military, and he like diffuses bombs. And his whole thing is like leveraging his ultra running platform as like a platform for peace. And he actually gave a speech before the race at one of the many, many opening ceremonies they had. And he talked a lot about like how it's not really about running. It's just a platform for these like higher ideals. And again, I had not met this man before, but that resonated with me. And mile 100, was when we started running together. It was like 20 hours into the race. The race started at, I think, like 8 p.m. I can't remember, 6 p.m., 8 p.m. It started at night. And so this is like, we're coming up on night 2. And I'm about to leave one of the rest stations, and he comes in. So I'm maybe like 10, 20 minutes behind the leader, and he's probably 10, 20 minutes behind me because of the mandatory gear checks at the rest station and like how that works. It's a lengthy process. But he comes in and he asks if I want to run through the night with him. He's like, it'd be nice to run through the night together. Like, do you mind waiting? And in my mind, it was kind of like, I mean, I've never really like run with someone in a race before. This is a competition. Like, I don't understand why we do this, but I was kind of like, sure, like, let's do it. And we started riding together. We started chatting. And I actually think, like, having had some time to process this race, like, if it were anyone else, I probably would have run a little bit with him and then been like, okay, we're on our merry way. We ran through the night together. But I think he and I, on like a very serious way, we're very philosophically aligned on like what ultra running means to us and how it's very much not about the running. It's an expression of values. It's art. And in that sense, I think we kind of just fell into this rhythm that it was less about the race, especially because this race, for a variety of reasons, felt way more experience-based than pure competition. There's like all these gear checks at the race, and it's taking a lot of time, and you're trying to leave the aid station and people are asking for selfies, and then it's like the live stream, and I was invited out to China to do this race, and I feel like I can't, like, all the volunteers were amazing. There's no reason to get upset for them, but it is kind of taking you out of the flow of the race. And there's no like, oh, Cody's 10 minutes ahead, I'm trying to catch him. They're like, actually, we need to count your calories again. And, instead of getting frustrated, it was like, this is more an experience. And then treating it more as an experience, it felt very easy to be like, the experience in this sense is now I'm running with this man and we're chatting and we're actually like a very similar pace and we're discovering, it became more of this like international solidarity of like, let's get through the desert together. And I think, I don't know, it became, neither of us really thought about it. It was like a very natural thing. And then he was like, of course, at some point, like, let's just finish the whole thing together. This is when there's 100 miles left. And I hadn't really considered that. I was like, that's an interesting idea.
So y'all talked about it early on.
Yeah. Because it was like, again, we ran through the first night together, and in my mind, I was kind of like, oh, well, now we've run through the night together. Like, if I go through a low, go on. If you go through a low, I'll keep going. But then we talked about it. He's like, no, we've been like, it was kind of, his idea was like, why would we not run together? And I was kind of like, oh, that's a really interesting point. And especially, I started having some like lung issues and kind of HAPE symptoms and, the fluid. And I'd had that before. I wasn't at particular high altitude, so I wasn't terribly worried. But I feel like when I started having these health issues, like, it was very comforting to have this person run with me. I know it was comforting for my family and my mom, who was tracking and like very worried about me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the main motivation was like, this is a really unique experience. And at the end of the day, now this running is a show of this expression of like camaraderie and solidarity more than anything. And to me, that was like, as running as an expression of value, that's a very important value to share. And that mattered more. I actually think both of us probably could have run a little bit faster if we had been separate. And I think a win for either of us maybe was on the table. I don't want to take anything away from Cody, the guy who did win, had a phenomenal race. Like, he did amazing. But for us, I think both of us could have probably gone a little faster, but it didn't matter. Like, there was nothing to prove. He's won a lot of races, way more than I have. Like, I've won my share of races. And it's like, I still want to push, and I definitely didn't hold back. But it was kind of like, it's more important to show this like force of solidarity than it is to kill myself by sleeping less and pushing more, which was a really interesting idea.
And Mika, what other reason are you on this podcast? Why would Aaron invite you on this podcast for any other reason other than to just interject with your own viewpoints on things and how he's done things? So, Mika, were you tracking Aaron throughout most of this race? How invested were you?
So we have a group chat with some of the volunteers from some of the races, and I told him to send us the tracking link because I haven't been going on Instagram at all this year, and then he didn't send it to us, and so I ended up not tracking him at all, and that was his own fault because he was supposed to send us the link. So I didn't even, it took me a couple days to realize, and then I asked somebody, and they were like, oh yeah, that ended, and so then I looked it up. But I will also say, Aaron, especially on the first night, it's very normal to run with someone, and that's not a weird thing at all, and the fact that you question that is an interesting thing.
I'd never done that before. Like, that was new to me. For the viewers back home, Mika once found love running an entire race with someone.
Oh my God! Please explain. Please explain how you found love and at the same time can ghost other people for like 6 months. Go ahead, Mika.
No. I did. It's just that friendships can form very easily during races, I feel, and I've made a lot of friends running races and put in a lot of miles with a lot of people, and it's not every thing has to be cutthroat, Aaron,
I agree.
Sometimes we enjoy running with other people.
He just took off the jacket, so things are getting a little hot and heavy.
Okay,
so
like 3 glasses of wine.
Well, next is going to be the shirt, so we'll see how long it takes to get to that point.
For the podcast.
Oh, that's too much.
Is this a family podcast?
I saw you sent unprompted. You sent those photos from the influencer retreat you went on. Is all I'm going to say.
All I'm saying is that the people wanted to see them.
Also, we actually encourage that people with families don't listen to this. So, like, anyone with a family, like, it's just like if you got a family member alive, don't listen to this. Our viewership could be like We could be up there with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift right now on their
Who?
podcast charts. Exactly. You're basically them. You and this guy you ran with are the Travis, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce of the trail running world.
I heard that oval diamonds are in, Aaron. Just so you know.
Wow.
Oval diamonds.
I will say, so apparently the Chinese, like, it's called Red Note, their social media, I think it's like the TikTok, Instagram equivalent, is a lot of people were touched by us running together, but a lot of people also thought we were a couple. But I have a girlfriend, Jovica has a wife and a kid, so
you are known for how much you like hanging out with your men, so.
Aaron, you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Aaron is committed.
I'm in a committed relationship.
We don't talk as much as I realized we did.
Has anyone met her? Like, how positive are we that she exists?
I just tell people.
She's very cool.
She's a Taurus, right?
Oh,
and you're a Scorpio?
April.
Yeah.
I thought you called her a tourist. Like,
oh, no. Taurus and Scorpio. All I'm saying is they're well matched, so.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's clear that, people say when you've lost control of your life, you look to the stars for purpose.
Dude,
ouch.
Aaron, how
We've been talking about astrology for so long. I can't believe.
And you wonder why she ghosts people. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm team ghosting for me.
Aaron, you live in one of the most polluted and populated regions of the country. You can't even look to the stars and see much to begin with.
There are stars in San Francisco. We're not heavily polluted.
I know. I just hoped you didn't really realize you were next to the Pacific Ocean and had a bunch of clear sky ahead, but you got me on that. So congratulations, everyone! Another round of applause for the relationship. Nobody? I'm 0 for 2 on clapping. We're gonna have to ask that one.
What about all your relationships with all your men? Will you make time for them? Still is the question.
Yes, I thought the close male relationships mean a lot in this world. As a male, and am
I allowed to say, ask you about certain people in specific?
I don't know. This is your podcast.
Okay.
So I don't take the rules.
I was just so. Yeah, for a while there, I thought there was something between you and Eli. I was like, "What's going on?"
Oh, my boy Eli. No, I paced him a lot of races.
Yeah, is he still your boy? Yeah, look at it. He poured himself another glass a second ago.
Eli's my guy. I like Eli.
He's getting nervous.
Is he running Monster next year? Are you going to pace him again?
I actually am pacing Jovica. Jovica might run Monster, and I would go out and pace him. So international popularity.
When does the question of you pacing someone that you're running with come into? It's like, hey, you're fast, and you're attractive, and you have a following. Can I pace you?
No, usually, people ask early. Sometimes it's like if you're going to be at a race. Because sometimes you just want to go to a race and experience the race. And then you want to see people that you know who are racing it. So you can offer to pace. But I don't know. I distanced myself from pacing as much this year. Because last year, I paced a lot to kind of scout out the races I wanted to run. And then at some point, you can you only have so much time. You have to look after your own races and yourself. And you can't pace indefinitely. You could only give so much, Andrew.
Yes, and some of us can only take so much.
We know.
And sometimes you offer to pace people before you ask your friends if they want to pace her.
Please go into this. Dude,
I don't know what races people are racing. Last year,
you know what I've been racing for.
I was going to race Mika. I was going to pace Mika and Cocodona, and
this year.
Well, I don't know what year it is anymore. 2025.
It all runs together.
Yeah.
Fucking stone tablets, got it wrong. But yeah, go ahead.
One thing with pacing, you have to be adaptable. You never know what's going to happen, so you never know when you have to hop in late night, no sleep.
Okay, well, was there more to that?
I actually don't know where I was going.
Yeah, just you.
Well, you were supposed to pace me, and then I was the very first drop at Cocodona this year, so you ended up pacing other people.
And then I got to hop in and pace Harry.
Those slutty tendencies.
And then my Lindsay, my friend from the Bay who went to my high school, I had to pace her. I got to pace her up Eldon. Pretty sweet. First 200, she got second place. Pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Well, who's this?
That's That's our guest that comes about this time of every podcast.
Andrew,
recording.
do you know her name?
Lola, because of the
Thank you.
Kinks, which is
See
a
those
song
eyes?
about a transgender, but I'm not calling Lola that, but it's a great
You
song.
see her
though.
blue and brown eye?
Wow,
Oh wow, she's pretty.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty dog. I've never even looked her in the eyes before, but
Wait, it's her name's Lola.
Yes.
Nice, good name.
so you guys have actually had both quite a bit of life things going on this year. Like, running, we may be 100% committed to it, but in the grand scheme of things, it is just a blip in the rest of our lives. And, I like to think, and most people think it leads us to other things. It can be a vessel at times. But you guys were going to.
I have a question about the actual race at hand. If we
That's
get back on
relevant.
the
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Okay.
time change.
You bullshit.
How early did you go? Was your body adjusted to the time change, or did you just like completely just go like raw dog?
Yeah, okay, there might have been a slight perk of coming from the U.S. because it's from San Francisco 13 hours ahead, and we started the race at, I want to say, 9 p.m., which was like 8 a.m. San Francisco time. So circadian rhythm-wise, it kind of worked out for me. I think I showed up 4 days before, which was like enough time to chill and get stuff ready and acclimate. It got to, there was one pass at 11,000 feet, and the rest was at like 6,000, so it wasn't high altitude, wasn't low altitude. Andrew, what are you giggling about? Go on.
Off the podcast stuff. Don't worry. Keep going.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
don't call me out. Stephanie's question still stands.
No, but I think starting at night, but also kind of being on a different circadian rhythm was fine. I think your sleep gets fucked in these races anyway, and it's kind of like, I don't know. You get in this race mode of once you're in the race, like you're in the race. It doesn't matter what day it is. If it's day 2, day 3, you kind of it all blends together. So that wasn't too big of a factor, I think, for this.
And they put you up in the hotel, like, no matter, like, how many, like, all the days before the race, too? Like, you got that all covered, or?
Yeah, so there was a hotel in Dunhuang, and then we moved to a town called Guazhou, which was smaller and closer. And then the race was in the middle of the Gobi in this, like, glamping setup in this oasis. It was actually pretty sweet, which I think the race organization, the parent company, also owns, like, the glamping and so there was some deal there. But it was, like, every runner had their own, like, individual tent. And it was, I don't know, it was nice. There was like showers and bathrooms.
Like before and after, or you're saying during the race they had a tent for you?
Oh, before and after. During the race, yeah, there was no spots. What was really nice about this race is that because of the international nature and the invite, everyone stayed for the award ceremony, which was like, so I finished in 68 hours, but the cutoff was 141 hours. So I think I had 4 days after the race to hang out in the camp. But then all the runners are together. And so there's like a lot of solidarity. Everyone gets close. And then there was this banquet at the end, which was amazing because everyone is like, I don't know, in American races, people finish and then they just like leave. And some people stay, but it's like there's no solidarity. But this race, like everyone who ran had this banquet together. And there's so much to talk about because you all went on this crazy course that no one goes at. And the Chinese runners went hard. And Baijiu is this liquor that is, I think it just means liquor, but it's like, it was a lot of baijiu. I have several videos of like Chinese runners passed out on tables at the banquet. It was a very good, very loving time. Like there was so much solidarity with the runners after because everyone stayed for whatever the duration. So I was there for 4 days after and then flew back to the U.S.
Did you get to keep the outfits, all the outfits you got to wear?
Yes. So I kept the cape. It might make an appearance at Halloween. And they gave us these Chinese military jackets, which are like, I don't know, they look like very communist. They're like giant and green, and then they have like gold stars on them. We maybe could have kept it, but there was just no space left in the luggage for anything. So unfortunately, did not get to keep that. But yeah, they also, I mean, there was like a ton of, like Bird was a Chinese sponsor, and they gave like shirts and jackets and pants. Like we got a lot of swag.
Wasn't there something with armor too?
Yes, I don't know what to call it, like cosplay is the or LARPing. Like they dressed us up the day after the race in traditional ancient Chinese armor, and there was a full film set with lighting and a dolly, and there's like 3 people on each side of you holding different lighting fixtures. And I'm in a traditional Chinese setup. Andrew, I'll send you the video after. And I'm holding a spear. And I actually tested the spear. It was like sharp. It was like a real spear. And I did this like hua motion. And I had to film that, no joke, 20 times. Well, the director gave me notes on how to hua. So he was like, no, hua, like this. And then move your hips. And the main feedback was like, look arrogant and then angry. And the whole thing was ridiculous. And this is the day after I finished the race, right? So I haven't really slept much. So there's like pain. There's pain in my eyes in this video. And then, I don't know what they're doing with it, but every runner has a video of themselves dressed up in Chinese armor going, whoa.
I feel like angry and arrogant is your default, though. So you're probably...
those are my two main states of being.
So I'll get back to my previous point that I was trying to get to before it was cut in half, and then it just sounded like I was just incoherent and rambling. But I wasn't. I'll get that to a little bit later on. But it was kind of a hilarious interjection. But so, like, you also did, or the race in South America. So this was China. So, like, how did it compare, the experiences? Have you ever, like, can you give any insight onto what others could expect? Because South America is one thing, but this is China where, there's a little more subtle unease, if anything. How would you compare those experiences?
I mean, they're fundamentally different. Like, I do think China was way more, at least where I was, way more developed than I thought, where even the rural towns were like quite developed. And the entire culture was incredibly welcoming. And I think it felt like this was very apolitical, and maybe in some sense, like, sure, it's trying to give international people a more favorable image of China, but in some sense it worked. And I think the Chinese runners were incredibly friendly and welcoming, and I've come away like with a very positive experience, and I want to race more races in China now. Like, I think it was a very good experience overall. Oh, also, I don't know if I told you, I went to the hospital after the race, so I got to see a rural Chinese hospital. That was fun.
Wait, you went?
Yeah,
like, were a
clarify
patient
that.
admitted, or
Also,
you just went for fun? Like,
Not tourism. I got sent to a hospital after the race.
wait, okay, yeah, still doesn't answer anything.
were there any doping violations?
So there's a picture that's being passed around of a shot in my ass.
But aren't you the one who initially passed it around, though? Let's clarify.
Mika, can you also, before he lies about what he's about to say,
this is all true.
Is this a picture of his his ass, right?
I have no interest in looking at this photo, so I glanced at it very briefly on someone else's
Could
phone.
you blindly send me the first text message you've sent me in like half a year, and it'd be of Aaron's bare ass?
I can send it. No, there's like a very funny story behind it where I texted.
Aaron's the one who's sending it to everyone, so he is the best person to ask.
And Aaron, how come you have not sent us your bare ass with a needle in it?
If you want content from this race, I have to send you me in the Chinese armor going hua. I have to send you the ass pic. I have to see the pic of me in the hospital looking like death embodied, giving a thumbs up while they draw blood work. Also, everyone in the hospital, because I'd come straight from the race, would come up to me and speak things in Chinese. And Jack, who's the man, who's like our international coordinator, was translating and said, everyone came up and just said, haha, why does he have bad hair? Because it was just straight up.
You've still not answered why you were in the hospital, though.
I had a fever after the race. I couldn't get warm. I think it was more out of abundance of precaution. They took my temperature with a mercury thermometer.
So anally?
No,
that's not. Was it rectal? Okay, I just.
No, okay, so
I didn't know.
Time on the race. I finished the race. They have approximately 47 ceremonies before I can fucking go to sleep. Involving like one of them was so in these races, like, you're in the desert for 3 days and you put chapstick on. There's nothing you can do. Your lips are going to get windburnt and sunburnt and cracked. And then they have this wine ceremony, and the second this liquor touches my lips, it's like searing pain. It's the last thing you want after a race. But then there's like fireworks and an interview, and there's like this gladiator style door that you're opening, and everyone's like, it was overwhelming, but whatever. So I try to go to sleep as a man that has not slept in 2 days. And apparently I'm like moaning, just like, yeah. And so they're like really worried about me. So they come and take my temperature, and they stick a thermometer in my arm and say, okay, we'll come back in like 8 minutes to check. And I was like, okay, I'm going to fall asleep. Is that cool? And they're like, yeah, whatever. So I fall asleep. They wake me up. They go, where's the thermometer? I was like, I don't know. I fell asleep. And they go, don't move. it's a glass thermometer and it's full of mercury and it's very fragile. And so I had this group of people like pawing around my body trying to find this glass thermometer. But when they found it, I had 102 fever. So they're like, okay, you have to go to the hospital. And I was not happy because all I wanted to do was sleep. So they take me to the hospital. I'm getting pushed around a wheelchair. I'm kind of fading in and out of sleep. And I wake up and the Chinese doctor is making this motion. And he's like, oh, shot in butt. And I was like, I actually would rather die, I think. Like, just leave me where I lie. But turns out it wasn't in the butt. It was on the butt, which is a critical distinction. No, I don't want to yuck someone's yum, like if you're whatever. But
no, I don't blame you for misconstruing that for someone receiving a needle straight into the rectum, because that's a well-known misconstruction. Like,
I was out of it.
Yeah. Oh no, that sharp thing is going in my anus. Sorry, pardon for the language. No families allowed for this podcast.
Do we have any idea what was in the shot?
Yeah.
So no one told me, but my 5G's been great ever since. So
there you go. You are now a man of the state. You are painted red. You are just like.
Well, you have that 10-year visa, so that's what it costs.
They did tell me after it was an anti-fever shot, which I asked some nurse friends. It was probably Toradol. I don't quite know. I don't know enough about that. But the craziest thing is that so I got a shot in the butt. I got blood work. I got cough medicine, I want to say. And then I woke up the next day and felt completely fine. So I'm kind of a believer.
Did they charge you anything for the hospital visit?
No, because I had insurance through the race. But even what they were charging the race was actually, compared to U.S. healthcare, pretty good. Like, I think it was like $5 for blood work, and it was like $3 to get this cough medicine. Like, I was like, U.S. healthcare, a little behind. Well,
you are now a transcript of the state, so we'll see how long this lasts before you are primary target numero uno by the U.S. government. But until then,
I'm surprised I was back in the country with that shot in my ass.
Things are on the upswing. You made an amazing friendship. You finished this awesome race that you, not too long before this, thought was just another one of those Facebook advertisements for something that was not real. That Mika was actually invited to first, but politely turned down. I don't know if they went in.
She actually just ghosted them, as is.
She ghosted them like she ghosts at least me. Anyone in Texas.
There's no proof.
Yeah, there's I like to believe so, but so both of you, as I was trying to get to before I was cut off for my rambling, was you guys both had some big things scheduled this year, including an epic showdown. And what we want to know next year, going forward from here, there's a lot of buildup. We just want to know, and we mentioned it a few times on this podcast, this showdown that was going to take place at Tahoe, and for perfectly acceptable reasons did not happen. Is this going to happen again between you two? Mika Thewes versus Aaron Kubala. Is this going to happen anytime soon?
Hopefully next year it will happen. We'll see. We'll see how the recoveries go. But yes, I will be beating Aaron, and he will be getting second place at Tahoe. So.
And before Aaron interjects, because he's looking like he's chomping at the bit over there, posing at all times, this perpetual state of posing. He's always looking good for the camera. There's the smolder. But Mika, are you willing to kind of just explain a bit about the recovery process right now on your end, or you just kind of want to I'm recovering, I'll get better.
Yeah, I'm not so. My doctor has cleared me to ease back into running, but refuses to give me any timeline. So I'm just gonna slowly see if how things go. That's where I'm at the moment. But I have not done any races this year, or finished any. But yeah, hopefully next year's. Anything's got to be better than 2025. So I'm looking forward to 2026 and beating Aaron at Tahoe in 2026.
A girl can dream.
You're the girl, of course. Manic pixie dream girl.
Gender forward.
As we like to say.
Aggressive.
You're a big
You know,
dreamer, so that's
I'm a big
okay
dreamer.
with me.
And just to make sure I don't know if this was 100% clarified. The whole purpose of this podcast was to talk about Aaron's Ultra Gobi experience, and he himself added in a much welcome addition, because she's one of my favorite people, Mika, to this, just for this derailed episode. It is completely off the charts. And then, yes, we are drinking wine all throughout this. At least Aaron and I are. So this is all part of the experience that you guys may find as the worst episode we've ever done. And Stephanie is completely over at this point in time. It is 10 p.m. Where we currently live. But this is just something we've been awaiting for quite some time, because the offer still stands between you two, this race. It is going to happen. We got to make it happen. And Aaron, you've been battling your injuries. And joking aside, I have to admit, I have not seen many people, if at all, anyone like you in the ultra running scene that I know, that I've gotten to know, that is able to do what you do as well as you do, and also just be so altruistic and benevolent and helping others, either the front of the pack or the back of the pack. It is amazing, and I do like joking about it. That's why we joke about it. We wouldn't be joking about it if we actually thought that you just wanted to pace the celebrities of the world. It's like you're one of the few people that can pace the well-known fast elites, and also at the same time tone it back and pace those that are in more need, and still find the energy to volunteer. So it's an amazing thing of what you're able to do. So I do applaud you for that. I would be clapping right now, but that has not worked out well.
Yeah, it's really
with
gone
anyone.
well.
Yeah, you guys not clapping at all.
Well,
So
I do appreciate the kind words. I mean, ultra running is the greatest sport in the world, and so I think just in some way helping other people in the sport in their goals is a noble pursuit. So hey, we should get out there and pace, and also run. But yeah, very kind words. Thank you. We do like to joke.
yeah, the joking is great, and some of it is true, but that's a great part of friendship. We may not talk for a long time. We may ghost each other for funsies. It's all part of a long-term joke. In the end, it's just like we're all going to have a laugh about it, and it's just great. And then, Mika, I think you're one of the strongest people I have known, I've heard of, and I've had the experience to develop a friendship with, and also from an outsider point of view, experience you through other people. And you've gone through a lot through either through the race or just personally, and I'm excited to see you come back, because you just have so much that everyone would love to see. So it's going to be amazing, and we can't wait for you to come back out there when you want to and are able to. And ever since we met you at the Divide years ago, it's just like, you know what? She's one of my favorite people that just voluntarily held this avocado we handed her. So, but this is an epic showdown that we're leading up to at some point next year. So we both look forward to it, and a lot of people have, because I've mentioned it a few times on this podcast. So, but in the end, Aaron, this was about your Ultra Gobi experience, and
Was it?
yeah, it was about the friendships we made along the way, which are the same fucking friendships that we've had, and we're just confirming that they still exist. So this is more of a confirmation of friendship. So congratulations, golf clap, that we're still all friends, hopefully. But Aaron, I do have a few more questions before we wrap things up. The Ultra Gobi, we've had some people just wonder not just what is the Ultra Gobi, but the course itself. How would you kind of describe the course and compare it to maybe, is there an American counterpart that we're familiar with? Just overall, just the course, just in a short description, how was it, and what could the American expect if they were interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth looking up. I think it's certainly worth running. I don't think there is an American counterpart. I think it is pretty fundamentally unique. Let's see. So it was about, for me, about 260 miles, and I think it was about 12K of vert. So it's not particularly verty. There was one mountain pass at 11K, and then a lot of it was flat. But the challenges it's the terrain. I mean, a lot of it is less runnable than you think. A lot of it is runnable, broken gravel. But what makes it unique is that you're truly in the middle of nowhere. You're on these like historic Silk roads. You're passing by ruins from 2,000 years ago. You're connecting various oases that people haven't ever really run between. I think Moab is probably the closest comparison, but even then, it's like maybe 40% shares a similarity. It's just like in the desert, and there's a lot of things. Oh, hello, Lola. But I think the course, it's beautiful in its own way. There's more diversity than I expected, but there's so many stretches of just being in the middle of nowhere, which is sometimes appealing. Seeking some type of isolation or pursuit outside of what you would normally see. The Gobi Desert has a lot of historical significance. As I think part of the race is really interesting. It's like the Silk Road is historically a coalescence of culture. And it's I think this is what they're trying to be with the international scene, is make this kind of like a hub for an exchange of ideas and cultural exchange, and I think they've succeeded in doing that. And so this race was truly ridiculous in every possible way. Like, it was probably the coolest race I've done and one of the craziest experiences I've had. So in that sense, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, so as I'd say, that being said, for those interested, would you recommend this race? Which you already said, but as far as the beginners, is this a good beginner's race, or would you prefer more experience going into it?
It's a good beginner's race in the sense that the cutoff is very, very generous. It's 141 hours for 250 miles, which is a lot. Like, I don't know, what's Coconutta's cutoff, like 110?
125 usually.
125. Moab's is like 110. Like, this is a flatter race. So in that sense, like, you could treat it as an experience and sleep for several hours a night and hike most of it, and I think exist within that cutoff. So in that sense, it is like beginner friendly. But at the same time, it is a very demanding race in the self-supported aspect, and carrying a 15 to 25 pound pack is a departure from American races. And so there are the self-supported logistic components make it a very difficult race, but on the whole, it's an easy course. So between those two, it's like, I would say it's beginner friendly, but you have to know what you're getting into.
And go ahead.
Do you know, like, if you're just a runner that wants to sign up, like, is it possible for, like, a international runner that hasn't been invited to, like, get the visas and figure all that out?
Yeah, I believe that it is, and I believe they would help you with that process if you do sign up. And my understanding with the way they've treated international runners this year and last is they want to make an international presence where people do start signing up in the future. So all of their, like, hemorrhaging of money is this long-term investment in, like, putting the race on the map. So yes, I do believe it's open. They also have different, like, types of programs. Like, there's a Dreamers program where they would pay for. Like, you have a narrative and you apply and you tell a story. So they have different levels of this event. The event also exists as a stage race for a lot of Chinese business schools. That's like a separate race. So there are other parts. There's also a 125 miler. So what is that? A 200K as well. So there are different events within the Ultra Gobi sphere. And I think all of them, because it's such a big cultural thing in this part of Western China, it's like, it's worth checking out. And I actually think, given how much they've invested in this over the next 5-10 years, it's only going to continue to become like a bigger and bigger phenomenon.
So this experience is just, it seems daunting on the surface, and then there was a lot of representation more locally than anything. But hearing your point of view and your thought of its accessibility kind of makes things easy. Not that I'm ready to do something overseas. I even ran overseas before. Mika, have you ever ran overseas before? Yeah, other than tour.
You had me on your podcast.
Other than tour. Italy.
And
so embarrassing. I'm sorry he said that.
We met at Divide, which is technically an international race.
You met in a Canadian race.
Listen, I before you guys corrected me, I did say other than tour, because Italy is basically like what the San Juans of America, right? No? Okay.
No, although they do call Ure the Switzerland of the U.S., which
it's close. I think I got the countries confused. Very, very similar, all along the Alps over there. But so this whole experience just sounded amazing. Would you say that it was transformative more so than any other race, or is does this just motivate you more so than ever? Does it leave you in a better place?
That was a lot of questions. It leaves me in a better place. I think that's true. It was transformative. I can't remember what the first question was. What was the first question?
We both
Neither
we
of us-
both had we've been drinking wine.
Did you
appropriately.
achieve self-transcendence?
Yeah, there you go.
I think it was actually okay. So Jovica came up after the race and he was like, "Do you think you got what you wanted out of the race?" Again, because when you run with someone for 150 miles, it no longer becomes either of your race; it becomes your shared race, like this third entity. And I thought about it for a while, and the answer is 100% yes. Like I do think I got what I wanted out of this race. When I come back, maybe I think it would be great, but at the same time, this has opened up a world. There's so many international races that have so many interesting stories. Like I want to do more of this, and so doing the same race over and over again is less appealing to me. But you meet all these international runners who are talking about, oh, like I've done this and I've done this, and even within China, there's like a very vibrant ultra marathon scene. But there's one race I learned about that's called like Trans Pyrenees. It's like 700 miles in the Pyrenees. Like that sounds amazing. So I do think I would like to do other international races, but this race was amazing. I recommend it. It's worth checking out, and also the way that, again, the amount of like ceremony in this race is insane. Like at various points in this race, when I was out of it, there's just like fireworks, and I don't know if they're for us. I was told maybe they're to scare off jackals. Like you're just the whole time you're just kind of in this fever dream of like you don't know what's happening, but it's a beautiful fever dream.
And so I have a great idea. I think you need to do tour soon, Aaron, because I want to get a group of Americans to do glaciers at tour. Yeah. You gotta come do that. We need a little group of Americans to do it together. So
you, me, and Mike McKnight. I'll be good.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done tour yet, but there's a couple other runners like Mark Bogle, even Kevin Goldberg, and some of those other guys. Todd Bachman, who might want to join.
Andrew Marvin.
Yeah. Regina.
Yeah.
Regina Massengill. Yeah, there we go. Some
It'd be fun to get a group together.
Yeah.
Viewers like you.
People, just anyone.
But it's hard to train for a race that's called Tour de Glaciers in Texas, is all I'm going to say.
I think what could work is
we
might need to relocate for a little bit. We'll get you there.
Get an Airbnb for 2 months in the Italian Alps beforehand. That's an easy.
Sounds
solution.
like Mika's trying to throw hands at her.
No. I'm saying you should move like Colorado or something.
Oh wow!
I heard a whisper that Andrew and the Happy Endings Trail they would fund a 2-month Airbnb for all of the tour runners.
Stephanie, we did say that, right? We literally said that right before.
I'm
we went
divorced and I live in an apartment, so I have no money anymore.
live. Okay, that was way too.
We love late night podcasts.
It's like okay, recently too. This is all. Okay.
I have no money, but I'm really happy.
Okay, all right. We can make. Sorry, let me clear
Andrew,
my
why
throat.
does it make you feel so uncomfortable?
No, it's just not. It's just the truth. It's funny sometimes.
I mean, it is like legit.
Yeah.
I sold my house to marry a guy, and I'll never be able to buy another house in this market. So I am poor, but I'm happy.
Sounds like
Not funny,
men
but
are-
I'm also happy for you at the same time.
Andrew's lost the ability to speak.
It's just
On that note, let's wrap it up with
I
I can't let it go.
didn't expect such a hard-hitting question. Before that, Mika, do you have any other questions for Aaron? Anything like horoscope related? It's just anything. So you wanted to ask Aaron while we have you.
Do you know Jovica's horoscope?
I don't actually, but I bet whatever it is, it's deeply compatible with mine.
There you go.
We're gonna do a part 2, a follow up with both of you back on in better conditions.
Sober.
All of
I guess
us.
Apparently 9 o'clock is late for Texas people. That's what I learned. I'm a late night cat.
No, I just raced this weekend, and I've had like very few
She
hours
just did
of sleep.
100
I literally
miler.
took a nap before
Yes.
we got on here.
Also, I just worked with a bunch of adolescent for the past like 36 hours, so like it's basically my own 100 miler. So, yeah, you guys got us at a great time, and but Aaron, I love to see you keep chugging along. I'm starting to think that is just cranberry juice, but
This is port 2016.
I believe
Good year.
you,
It was
so-
the last good year in the U.S. Are you getting political?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
about
boy.
It was a great
Can
year.
we go there?
Yeah,
Are we allowed to go there today?
this is now a new podcast episode called Politics with Happy Endings Trail 2.
Basically, everything in my life is BM or AM. I wanted to say before Mika and after Mika, but BM is a different meaning in the medical community. So,
What's BM?
well, it's supposed to be before Mika, but it also means bowel movement. So,
Oh.
so we're gonna end it on
Yeah, on that, like, I wish we could edit that out. So we're gonna end this, and I can't let it go.
Stephanie's
something-
in us. Land this fucking sinking ship.
I know, because Lola's been done for 30 minutes now. And okay, so something that's on your mind. It doesn't have to be running related, but something that just anything.
Just
that's on your
anything running or non-related you don't mind sharing. Which, Mika, since you've apparently, according to me, you've never been on this podcast before to talk about an event outside of this country. We'll start with you first. Just anything up until the past 6 months. Let's just say an arbitrary number. You running or non-running related, you don't mind sharing.
I did non-running related. The only event I finished this year was a bike ride called Triple Bypass in Colorado. So I did some road biking before I realized that it was making my injury worse. So that was fun. And I did a couple mountain bike rides. I'm quickly discovering that mountain biking is very fun, which is not great news for trail running career. So we'll see how that goes.
I do see that in a lot of people. Regina had to mountain bike for the first time on a work trip, which my first question was, what kind of fucking work trip? But then I realized, oh, you make the money here. I shouldn't question anything. So, and she is wanting to mountain bike more. But secondly, just, everything with your injury and your recovery. Again, as I said before, you're an inspiration to many and just an amazing person to be around. You wouldn't be on here otherwise. Even someone as perfectionist and just the embodiment of just everything right in the world, such as Aaron, he wouldn't have you on here for any other reason. For just like, hey, Mika is my equal in every single way, if not better. So
Every single way except for her time at Tahoe 2026.
oh, the
And
top
our horoscope or astrology signs.
and we will have a
Geminis are clearly better. Would you not agree, Andrew?
One of the first things that Mika said to me as a person was that my mom warned me about guys like you.
No, I said my mom warned me about Scorpios. It's different.
And she said a lot of other insults after that as well.
Gemini.
You also flung more than a few, so we're
Yeah.
equal. We're equal on level of insulting each other. I will say.
Okay, yeah.
Look at this.
You make it easy.
We're just seeing live for the first time for many of you, just like the best friendship in trail running over here. So this is amazing. Aaron, I want to go over to you now. First of all, congratulations on the relationship. No one's going to clap, but I'm going to clap. I don't know how old it is.
I don't like that. Everyone congratulates on me. Like, congratulates me on this, acting like they never thought it was possible. Like,
Yeah.
It feels very diminutive.
We're either congratulating on you or with you. So, like, you just
Congratulating on me.
you gotta pick one. So, anything you cannot let go, running or non-running related, recently, buddy?
Did you just buddy me?
Yeah, pal.
Buddy. But I think buddy's inherently condescending. Let's pour another glass. I
shit.
know we joke. I know we joke, and we kid, and we tease, and we faff. But on a more serious note, I have been thinking a lot, especially in the context of the Gobi, about running as a belief system. Like what it means, right? What ultra running means to us, the communities, the world at large. And I do truly echo the sentiment that like running is not about running. Like the last thing running is about is the actual act of running. And there are all these other faculties like camaraderie and international relations and stewardship and self-discovery that I think take like really okay, I'm trying to wax and you poetic and you're just laughing. But truly I believe this. Like I think that ultra running is an art and I think that it is an expression of values and I think it really matters. and I will. You are holding your mouth as if you're about to burst out laughing. But especially in relation to this race, there was another thought of the paradox of ultra running as both a competitive pursuit, but also a community pursuit. And I think it's this paradox where both can exist, right? Andrew's, just for the viewer back home, is basically eating his shirt, trying not to laugh. He's about 2 bottles of wine in. Someone stop this man. AA. Okay, anyway, that's what's on my mind. And also, the last thing that's on my mind is I'm really grateful that next year it appears that Tahoe will continue to be an out and back so Mika can see truly how far back she is.
Was that official?
I would like to say that I high five people on the out and backs, and I don't know if Aaron has the same sportsmanship level, so we'll see.
Good job,
He
brother.
doesn't, because he doesn't think it's normal to run through the night with someone.
But also, Mika, as much as I offend you, I've never received a high five from you on the 3 races that we've
Yeah,
done
she goes
together.
to in person too. It's kind of crazy.
I think didn't I ask you which way to go on the turn at Tahoe that one year? Because I was like out of my mind and didn't know which way to turn.
That was another struggling Clydesdale-looking runner with a 30-pound pack.
Question, Andrew. Question.
I remember seeing you at Tahoe, I swear.
How much do you have to weigh for Clydesdale?
Over 200, but I'm way beyond that. So.
But what about, does height matter for Clydesdale?
I don't, no, but I've heard some races apparently back in the day used to do that. But sometimes to make myself feel better, I'll be out there at times and be like, I'm the heaviest runner right now. That's like higher up. He's like,
You have the most gravitational pull.
yeah, there we go.
But you finished Arizona Monster, and a lot of people didn't. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
actually
awesome.
honestly a really good effort.
That's the last time I heard from Mika. She congratulated me and then disappeared.
Well, famously, she doesn't talk to non-front of the pack runners.
I have her on my
hey,
when
that's not true.
when I'll hear from her again, so I'm excited.
I'll just say it's hard when you're injured to be tuned into.
I actually echo that sentiment. It sucks to stay tuned in, so you actually try to disassociate from everything.
I've not really been running much since Monster anyway, so I've been kind of struggling as well. So we can all start like a little group together if you want. But
Therapy group.
we'll talk about that off the air because Stephanie is over us. Thank you guys for joining on this Unhinged
No,
episode.
fucker, I'm going to do my Can't Let It Go, so you better give me my moment.
I'm so sorry. Can't let it go, please. I forgot about
Okay,
you.
so I raced this weekend, and I did 115 miles in 27 hours and 42 minutes. I won first place.
Fuck yes.
Third overall, only 2 guys beat me out of 355 runners. So I feel like that, I win small races all the time. Not all the time. That was very cocky. I'm tired. But I won a big race, okay? And this race has been going on since like 2009. And there's only one female that's done 115 miles faster than me. And there's only 2 females that have ever done it. I'm the 3rd female to do it, and I did it faster than the 2nd person. So I just want to throw that out there.
Stephanie, I would like to commend you, and I would like to say I'm disappointed at Andrew for not bringing up this fact, especially given that's within a week. Like, that's very impressive, and you deserve
No,
praise.
this is like, I've been home like 24 hours. Like, this is like a day.
My phone got ran over by like a community of like 8 semi-trucks on purpose in the middle of a highway, and I haven't.
He's not
finished
gonna.
the race.
You are not gonna give me a moment to say
No,
that
I am going to give
first
you
place.
more than a moment. I just want to say, Stephanie. Here's the thing. Stephanie is so amazing that she will not tell
This
you.
is damage control.
She's not going to tell you when she's doing these races, and then you just hear about it. Like,
Andrew, if I
just from
told you, it doesn't
secondhand.
matter. I text you afterwards. I was like, "Hey, I just ran 115 miles sub 20."
And I was like, I texted
Well,
back.
this phone
Literally
was under 8
moments.
semi-trucks
No.
ago.
This was moments before my phone got ran over, and Regina and one of our friends was there to corroborate the story. Like, one of my last messages was like, "Holy shit, Stephanie, you did how many miles in how many hours?" And literally less than an hour later, my phone got ran over by a community of assholes, just like destroying my phone. So, Stephanie she's one of the few people that can just like pull off one of these races without telling anyone. She does so much in silence, but speaks such volumes. And she's an amazing athlete.
I think I talked a lot about this one.
And it is like,
But,
I'm excited to hear more about it, and we are going to talk more about it because Stephanie is the
I'm
best part of
sorry
happy endings.
to drag this on any longer, but I need a little moment.
I'm sorry that Andrew derailed your moment to talk about himself.
When did I talk
And his
about
phone.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh my god.
We should go, and every time Andrew talks about his phone getting run over, everyone gets a drink. We'd be wasted.
Well, this is
Would be.
well, we already are. What are you talking about? No, joking aside. Anyways, as Aaron looks at the bottom of his wine bottle, like there's nothing left in there, buddy. You and I are both.
Oh,
gonna have to
can you
take it
stop
tonight.
saying buddy? Like it's just,
So, thank you guys so much for joining us. We had fun on this. Joking aside, this was a unique episode where not only do we get to have one of my favorite people that I met recently, Aaron, on, but my favorite person in trail running, Mika. Congratulations on the new house, and I love the skeleton just hanging down from whatever the hell.
Don't ever sell it for a man.
Thank you. That's good advice for sure.
It's- okay, and rest assured, I don't think Aaron and I will ever sell it for a man. Well, I don't know.
I wouldn't be
about
so
Aaron.
sure.
Yeah, he sells things easily for other men, depending on their speed. So, but thank you guys so much for joining us. This was quite a unique episode. It'll be very divisive, but it was a unique experience. And Stephanie, thank you for staying up late with us. Go to sleep, and congratulations. And we can't wait to hear more about your race and her march towards doing 100 milers in each state, and she's almost halfway there, so we're excited to hear about that. So, and Aaron, congratulations on the Ultra Gobi 300. Regina says fuck you for some reason, but I'm not gonna it's okay. I'll find out. I'll text you what's going on my brand new phone, because my other phone got ran over. I don't know if you heard about it. Speed project.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
There it is. Mika's chugging. And then Mika, pleasant surprise. I just enjoy interacting with you, as rare as it is, because you are such an amazing, pleasant person to be around. And I'll know that if shit ever needs to be picked up, literally speaking, you're the one to do it. So thank you so much, guys, and for enduring this episode. And as always, on behalf of Happy Endings, Stephanie.
Happy endings.
Happy endings.